In this video, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know to get started learning Summertime on guitar. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, Jamie Holroyd here helping you learn jazz guitar. Welcome to the channel. Summertime is probably the most commonly played jazz standard, so it's one that you really need to know if you don't know it already. In this lesson, I'm going to teach you the melody, a harmonic analysis, and a short solo that will help you get started learning the tune. If you'd like to get a downloadable PDF with all these things on, then you can do so by supporting me on Patreon. Furthermore, if you are new to jazz guitar and you want a concrete method to get started, then I have a free ebook that you can download by checking the link below. Let's get into Summertime. Let's begin with a harmonic analysis. Summertime is a 16-bar form which is basically played in every key. The most common keys which I've played Summertime in are A minor, D minor and E minor. I've chosen A minor here because this is the key that I think suits the guitar the most. There's some really nice open string voicings that you can use when creating a chord melody, for example. As I mentioned earlier, this song has been recorded numerous amounts of times, so there's been different harmonic interpretations. For the purpose of this video, I've actually chosen to give you the most basic way of learning this chord progression, and then you can go up from there. So the chord progression starts on the 1 chord, which in this key is A minor. In the second bar, we've got a B minor, so you can just memorize this by thinking 1 minor to 2 minor 7. Following that, we've got the same thing in bars 3 and 4. Some common variations that you'll see here are, rather than just having a B minor 7 chord, you could have, say for example, an E7, which would give you a 1, 2, 5, back to the 1 minor again. There's usually always some kind of modulation to the 4 chord in bar 5, which in this key is D minor. Here, I've just gone straight to a D minor, but you'll often hear a lot of musicians set this up by playing a 2-5 into D minor, which in this key is E minor 7 flat 5 and A7. Once you get to D minor, we basically can either stay on that there for bars 5 and 6, as I have done in this lead sheet, or we can actually add a C minor in bar 6. Some jazz musicians like to add the 5 chords as well here, so they will sometimes do D minor 7, G7 in bar 5, then C minor 7 and F7 in bar 6. The last 2 bars of the first section usually have some kind of turnaround back to the 1 minor chord. In this particular version, I've just done a B minor 7 flat 5 to an E7. This is a long 2-5-1, so you have 1 bar of the 2 chord, 1 bar of the 5 chord, which brings us nicely to the 1 chord, back again in bar number 9. Bars 9 to 12 are almost identical to bars 1 to 4. The only difference is the last bar, which would be bar number 12, has a 2-5 to the relative major. So the relative major in the key of A minor is C major. So there we've just got a 2-5, D minor 7, G7 taking us to C major. Once we get there, you can either leave that bar as just being C major. Here I've put a 6 chord, so it goes C major, A minor 7, and then we've got a short 2-5 back to the 1 minor 7 chord, which in this key is A minor. At the very end of the last couple of bars, we've got a turnaround back to the 1 minor. This is usually just a 1 chord, which lasts for 1 bar, and then we've got a short 2-5 in the very last bar. Obviously, I've gone through each part of the harmony in detail, but I'm just going to give you a faster overview using the Roman numeral system, which is a bit of a hassle to learn it initially, but once you get used to this way of thinking, it actually becomes much easier to, number 1, play this song in different keys, and number 2, learn several other jazz standard chord progressions. So if I'm talking about this in terms of Roman numerals, I would say it goes 1, 2-5 back to 1 minor, then we've got 2-5 to 4 minor, then we've got a 2-5 down a tone, and then a 2-5 back to the 1 minor again, short 2-5 back to the 1 minor, short 2-5 to the relative major, and then we've got a 1-2-5 turnaround back to the 1 minor again. So obviously that's given that you're going to know all those modulations, but as you can hear there, it's much quicker for me to tell you that information in that way rather than on a chord by chord basis. So I really suggest that you memorize the chord progression in that way. Beyond that, when you begin learning this chord progression, just use simple chord shapes that you know. Use chords which have the root on the 6th and the 5th string, and then as you get more confident, you might start to want to use things like drop 2 chords or extended chords for greater harmonic potential. The next step after memorizing the chords is to learn the melody. Like the chords, the melody has been recorded and interpreted many different times over the years. So what I've tried to do here is give you a fairly simple version that you can take and run with. Learn the version that I've notated here, and then try to add your own embellishments. I've added a few little embellishments in places here and there, but you can definitely take this further than what I've done. Once again, the idea is to keep things simple and build on that. You certainly want to memorise the lyrics if you don't know them already. It's a short form, so there's no excuse not to learn them. Speaking of that, because it's a short form, you actually play this round twice as well. So the tune is actually 16 bars on a lead sheet, but to get the standard 32 bars, you actually have to repeat this. To finish off this guide, I've actually written out a short 16 bar solo which is fairly simple to learn if you are new to jazz. All the notes in this solo actually use the A minor pentatonic scale. I've tried to adjust that so it goes over the chord changes. If you'd like a more detailed breakdown of this solo, then I recently showcased this solo on my Learn Jazz Guitar podcast, so if you want to go and listen to that and get a more in-depth breakdown you can do, but just for now here's a video of me playing through it. Once you can play this and sing it, then I recommend trying to compose your own improvisation. Start by using the A minor pentatonic scale, then start to experiment with some other jazz scales and arpeggios that you might know. Thank you for checking out this tutorial. I hope that you found it useful. If you did and you would like more content like this, then don't forget to subscribe before you leave. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson.